According to Google Maps, it would take you 36 minutes to get from downtown Mineola to downtown Tyler, Texas. For some, this is a pro, for some, this is a con, and that's one of the things about pros and cons videos that you guys should always keep in mind is that it's in the eye of the beholder, where one might consider something a pro, another might consider it a con, and vice versa, of course. While there is a way to get medical attention if you're in Mineola, more than likely in an emergency situation, you would need to be in Tyler, Texas. Depending on your age, that may be a pro or a con. If you're like most people that I've helped move into the area, they are usually looking for something 30 minutes to and from a good medical service. Tyler, Texas has state-of-the-art medical facilities and continually growing and thriving in that area. So if it's super important for you to be very close to emergency services, then you might not want to live as far north of Tyler as Mineola sits. Mineola is in Wood County, and some of the pros with that are sometimes, depending on where the property is located, the taxes can be a little less expensive than some of the surrounding area counties. One of the pros of Mineola is if you want to do some shopping or spend some time looking at any of that, the antique malls and thrift shops and just all the different area and all the different restaurants and items that there are to do in Mineola, you can actually park and walk all around all day long and not be that far from your vehicle and visit many different types of stores, many different types of restaurants, bars, and you could possibly even take in a movie there. One of the pros of Mineola is there is a small movie theater where you can go and watch a movie, but they also have musical performances they offer, and they do several play performances and musical performances throughout the year. One of the pros of Mineola is Highway 80 runs an east-west corridor going over towards Dallas to the west and toward the east towards Shreveport. Sometimes this highway is a great alternative than to getting on Interstate 20, which sits just to the south of Lindale, Texas. If you need something in Mineola and you cannot get it, Lindale is just a short 12-mile drive just to the downtown area for any of the other needs that you may have. One of the pros in Mineola is there's a Brookshire's, there's a Walmart, there are several pharmacies, locally owned and chain pharmacies, chain restaurants, locally owned restaurants, and you can do just about anything you need to do. There's places to shop for clothing, there's place to get pedicures, there's a lot of local businesses in the area that could prevent you from needing to make that 30-minute drive to Tyler.
Why you going in? The train can be a little and the biggest pond in Mineola, Texas is the train.
I'm Rebecca Williams reporting live at the Living East Texas studios. I'm just joking, I'm not live. I do not care to go live, mainly because I might say a bad word, just being honest. For me, making a pros and cons video, it's not the easiest thing in the world because in my opinion, it is all about perspective. Where someone's perception is that this is a pro, it can be a con for someone else. So you never really know when you're saying something's a pro or a con. It's literally in the eye of the beholder. Keep that in mind because what bothers you may not bother someone else and vice versa. So you also just need to leave things to your imagination and your gut. And visiting towns here in East Texas, this is why we have our channel. We're trying to help you know, is this even a possibility of a place I want to visit or possibly live? Here at the Living East Texas channel, we are here to help guide you through that process. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us anytime and either talk about buying or selling real estate, of course. So you can also let us be your boots on the ground. If there's something in particular that you're really interested in checking out, we could go film a video just for you. So don't hesitate to let us know if there's something out there that you want more information on.
Of course, this is the slowest strike we've had. One party outlet is the train. You don't want to hear that. You do not want to live in the downtown area.
Highway 80 is a pro for living in Mineola, especially if you want to avoid driving the 12-minute drive to Lindale to jump on Interstate 20, which also kind of runs parallel with Highway 80 to the west towards Dallas and to the east towards Shreveport. You can take Highway 80 to the west to travel to the DFW area, which is Dallas-Fort Worth, or you can travel east and head over to Shreveport, Louisiana and Bossier, where there's gambling and tons of fun things to do there. Horse races, a lot of fun. I know my mother used to drive on Highway 80 when she was going to be traveling over towards the Shreveport area, mainly because of traffic. And as she got older, she just said the interstate made her more nervous because there's also lots of trucks and there's not as many that you would encounter on Highway 80, and then you can still get to your destination in a relatively short period of time. One of the cons for some that may be living in the downtown Mineola area or visiting for the day is there is a train track that also runs adjacent to Highway 80, which is an east-west corridor. This is a Amtrak Eagle. This is an Amtrak line, so there is a passenger train that goes through there. And there's also trains that are just hauling items from different places across the country that use this line constantly. There are some days I've been downtown Mineola where I don't hear a train for every 30 minutes, and then there's other times where it's literally every 15 minutes. So it's a very busy train station hub. So if you don't like the whistle blowing, which honestly, the more time you spend there, you don't notice. But if you are someone that might be sensitive to that or not, sensitive to loud noises, you may not like that. Just for a little frame of reference, my husband and I rented an Airbnb there back in the fall, and when we stayed there, the trains didn't bother us, and we were literally about 2 or 3 blocks away from the train tracks. We didn't hear it in the night. It wasn't obnoxious. So that's good to know if you're thinking of moving to that area and or purchasing an investment property there, because to be honest, an Airbnb there would do very well. I feel confident. The pro is that I've had people come to visit over the years and they have taken the train from up north down to visit. And another pro is I have some friends who have hopped on the train in Mineola, ran over to Fort Worth for the stockyards, where it's just a really cool area downtown Fort Worth for people to visit and go shopping and just look around and hang out for the day, jump back on the train and head back over and not have to do the drive. Of course, it's going to take you a little bit more time because the train does stop at its stops, especially passenger train. There's different depots along the way. However, it's just a unique experience that you might not could get if you didn't live as close to a train. One of the cons of living in Texas in general, and East Texas as well, is that there are no real passenger trains here. You don't get to use a train to commute to and from work like you would in places like New Jersey and New York and Connecticut and all around the East Coast and other parts of the country. We are drivers. We drive everywhere we go. Everyone I know has a car, 2 cars, 3 cars. When my daughter was living here, we had 3 cars in the driveway a good portion of the time. So understand that this is an area, it's not necessarily a walking area, so that when I talk about going downtown Mineola and being able to park and walk around and visit any kind of business that you may want to visit that day to just enjoy with your family, it means something, because the way that the town is set up, you can park and just walk from block to block very easily to visit different businesses, different types of shopping. It's a great day to, great place to go spend the day with your family or girlfriends, or my family. We've met up there for lunch before and kind of walked in and out of some of the shops. My husband and I have done that. I've done it by myself. It's a great town for that. In general, in East Texas, you're going to need a vehicle to go most places that you want to go. The fact that we do have a train station here local in East Texas makes it kind of fun, because it's not something that we all normally encounter on a daily basis to get to and from for our commute. Of course, there are areas in Dallas that you can hop on some little small rail lines that will get you to and from anywhere you need to go. However, we're not used to that here at East Texas, so the fact that there's a train is kind of cool. I've mentioned this on a video about Tyler, Texas before, but I'm going to bring it up about Mineola as well. So each city in the Texas area can vote on whether or not they want to allow to sell liquor. And so beer and wine can be purchased in Mineola, and of course you can have drinks and cocktails, liquor related in the bars and restaurants. If you want to go out and have a drink, Mineola has you covered. But if you want to buy your own liquor to bring home, then you're going to have to travel a little bit further down the road to get to the wet county that sells liquor. To be honest, that is a con or pro of all around East Texas. So if you want to buy liquor and you live in Mineola, Texas, then you may want to make a short drive to Quitman, which is about 10 to 15 minutes to the north of Mineola, and depending on what part of Mineola you live in or are visiting. Or you can make a 20 or 30 minute drive over to Winona, Texas to their liquor stores. And then there's other little towns all around that allow sale of liquor. But you might want to look into that if that's something that's important to you. Growing up in this area, everything was dry. You had to drive 30 to 45 minutes to get liquor at any time. So to me, the fact that you can buy beer or wine or go have a cocktail at one of these wonderful restaurants or bars is a nice option for people. While I consider it a pro, others may consider it a con, that some of the properties, if you want to buy a home in the downtown area, because it is on the National Register of Historical Places, a lot of the homes in downtown Mineola are older and either have been restored or historical. Some have historical markers because they have a significance in history. And, these are older homes. So, of course, when it comes to foundations and HVAC systems and things that it might be a little more expensive to maintain an older property than it would be to go buy new construction, which is also an option if you're going to live in Mineola, Texas. So Mineola is a town that attracts a lot of visitors, people coming to shop. I've talked about the pub crawls that they have, that the local merchants get together and create specialty drinks for those and, make a scavenger hunt out of it where you have to hit up every location. Super fun, but I'll just tell you, if you don't want to live in a town where it is attracting visitors from all over to come there and participate with pub crawls and different attractions, farmers market, just the shopping alone brings visitors from all over. Every time I've been hanging out in Mineola for any length of time, I've met someone from another area who stopped there to just walk around the town. So of course, if you're a business owner, this is definitely a pro because there's a lot of businesses that are bringing finances and money into the area that is going to help the local economy. But if you do not want to live in a town where there's a lot of traffic, a lot of people visiting from all over, then it may not be for you.
As far as pros and cons go with living in Mineola, Texas, I would say a pro is the small business support that exists here. People will drive down Highway 80. There's a garage sale every year that many, many people will just line Highway 80 and you can drive down and go from garage sale to garage sale. But I love the small business support system that's in Mineola. I have friends that live here and I can see how much the support is for the smaller businesses. If you want, one of the pros is if you want great shopping, there's antiques, there's flea markets, there's boutiques, there's almost any kind of shopping that you would want in this downtown area. And it's literally, the businesses are lined boom, boom, boom. Some of them, you don't even have to walk back outside to the sidewalk to go from one place to the other because they're open to each other on the inside. So you can go from flea market room to restaurant to get a piece of pie. One of the cons living in Mineola, Texas is it's a little bit further drive to get to Tyler or the larger city hubs that have more advanced medical equipment and care, or more of the commercial aspect of larger businesses that someone that might have that need. One thing that could be considered a con of living in Mineola, Texas would be the distance it is to get to the larger commercial, more name brand stores, shopping, and or any other resources that might be needed. Also, a con would be that, of course, the smaller towns, they have small clinics or medical care. Someone might need to go into Tyler or Longview area for more advanced medical care. It's just a little bit longer drive away. Some people like that, though. They'd prefer to be out in the country. So I don't know, it could be a pro or a con, just depending on your side of the equation. One other pro is the Mineola has a great sense of community. Like I said before, these businesses, they support each other. They are trying to make sure that they maintain the integrity of the shopping district here so that it obviously would bring in outside money into the economy here. But also, I have a friend that works in one of the bars here, and he was like, yeah, if I want food from there, they've just run it over to me before. So there is a camaraderie between the business owners as well here. One of the cons is trying to find parking in the downtown area. Sometimes you have to park here and then you walk a couple blocks to your destination, but it's pretty strategic because guess what? There's 10 stores between here and there that you're going to want to go through. One con of Mineola, Texas is it is a train track going through the middle of town. So I sat at this train track this morning just because it looks like they're doing some maintenance on it. So this is run by Union Pacific. And it looks like they're doing some maintenance down there, but it does, if you're in a hurry, you will get stopped here on Highway 69 and not be able to travel north or south for just a few minutes. There is a workaround. It's just driving back roads and getting out of the way. But obviously, if you are taking children to school or needing to get somewhere in a hurry, you just need to account for the fact that almost every time I swear that I come through here, I get to stop the train. Something that could be considered a con if you are one of the locals is this is kind of a touristy town. People from the DFW area come over here. People local from all around East Texas will come here for shopping. And if you live here and you don't really like all the extra traffic in the area, that may be considered a con for you. Just being honest, it is difficult to come up with some cons of living in this area because I just think it's such a quaint, cute little town with great shopping, great food, great atmosphere, really sense of community. When you come here, people are friendly. I've been waved at about 16 times. And it's actually kind of a slow day down here because it's a random Wednesday.
Depending on your perspective, whether it's a pro or a con, Mineola is a fairly small school system for East Texas. While they have a little over 1,600 students, whether or not you want your child to go to a smaller school, of course that's elementary, high school, and middle school, and multiple campuses around the town. This could be a pro or a con. If you prefer a smaller hometown vibe, then Mineola, Texas and their schools may be a great pro for you. If you don't want a smaller school, they may not can offer some of the same programs that larger schools can, then it may be a con. So it kind of depends on your perspective, what you want for your life and your values and your family. Another pro of living in Mineola is it's not very far from Lake Fork. Lake Fork hosts many fishing tournaments throughout the year and is known for its prize-winning fish that you can catch there. I'm not a fisherman, so I can't speak to that, but it is a fairly good-sized lake for boating and recreational activities that you want to perform lakeside, and it's a quick drive from Mineola. Depending on what part of the lake you want to be on, it can be anywhere from 15 minutes to 30 minutes because, of course, the lake, the roads go all the way around it. Now, just a short 7-minute drive from downtown Mineola is Lake Holbrook. This is a smaller lake that still has some boating and recreational activities where you can enjoy being lakeside with a little bit less of a crowd. It is just a short drive from Highway 80, which is the east-west corridor I was talking about earlier. One of the pros in Mineola is competition for restaurants. There are a couple of local larger chains and then some excellent small business owners who have the best restaurants. The possibilities are endless on the type of food that you might want to enjoy. And again, if you stick to that downtown area, you may could visit a couple of places. And I would highly recommend running around and trying to find a really nice piece of pie with meringue that tall. I'm not joking. There's Tex-Mex, Italian, American, East Texas Burger Company, just saying, check it out. One of my favorite places to get a burger is East Texas Burger in just right downtown Mineola. Very excellent burger. And if you haven't been there, it's a unique experience as well. So one of the hidden gems that I would consider a pro in Mineola is the Mineola Nature Preserve. Y'all, this is such a peaceful location, and it is just a short drive from downtown, maybe 5 minutes south off of Highway 69, and then you take the loop there in Mineola to get to the nature preserve. It's a beautiful, peaceful place. It's open daily, 7:30 to sunset. There's an equestrian trailhead and RV campground, and then there's also mountain bike trails, y'all. And they say on their website, primitive camping. Doesn't sound like something I want to sign up for, so for me that would be a con, but for you it might be a pro. So you guys check that out. They have a great website, MineolaNaturePreserve.com. Great website, gives you a lot of information, of course, a map to their location, but literally it's less than 5 minutes from downtown Mineola. One of the pros of Mineola is there are parks, and there's also ball fields for if your children are participating in sports. Usually very easy to find, not that far from the downtown area. As far as the total pros and cons list, again, I am a firm believer it's in the eye of the beholder. Some might think it's a pro, others are going to think it's a con. So with that being said, just know that Mineola, Texas is a very nice place to live and visit, work, play, many things to do. It also, for me, it's a peaceful place to visit. To me, there's a nice, friendly vibe that has a different energy about it that I really enjoy about going to Mineola. Personally, I feel like I could probably live in Mineola, Texas because I really love it that much, and I am excited to be able to show you guys why it is such a great hidden gem here in East Texas. Remember to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any time we post. We post videos weekly, sometimes more often than that. My partner Dawn and I would love to hear from you. If you have any particular towns that you want more information about, please don't hesitate to reach out. We video so you'll know all about living in East Texas to help you make smart moves.